Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from the profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. He conquers the markets, he turns water into wine. His timing flows where chaos turns divine. Cut sharp enough to time the sign. Yeah, this man's no common trader. He commands the market's numbers. We call him Chef Bailey. The market bends beneath his flame. Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from the profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. Markets move, they twist and swing. Every tick can burn or blink. Ryan keeps calm, he trusts his thing. The charts tell him everything. But when T1 makes ding, 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 the futures spread their hidden wing. And he is ready for anything, with Vic still looking like a restless king.
Ready to stop guessing and start growing as a trader? Welcome to Vici Trading Solutions, a community built by real traders for serious learners. We don't just post trades, we teach the why behind every move. With a full education section and daily breakdowns, you'll start seeing the market like a pro. You won't be trading alone. Inside the Vici Discord, you're surrounded by committed traders, from futures pros to rising crypto specialists, all learning and winning together. Gain first access to our exclusive indicators, powerful tools used daily by hundreds across TradingView and beyond. These aren't gimmicks, they're built to sharpen your edge. Each morning, our founder posts a full trading plan for the S&P 500 or NASDAQ and calls out the levels he's watching live. No fluff, just clarity. Education, tools, community. Whether you trade futures, stock, or crypto, Vici gives you the foundation and firepower to grow. Join Vici, trade smarter, conquer the markets.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday. Man, what an incredible day today. We got our day in and out super early. We had an awesome night last night, which was still part of the day. As you guys know, we had snow catapult like well over 40%. I think it was like 38% or something by the end of the day from last night's earnings. We were in that thing from the low. It was a fantastic day. We had a lot of people in the room who were able to take advantage. Congratulations, Patricia. I gave you a little shout out yesterday, but what a banger. Good stuff. She's working on her IRA account. It's growing pretty fast at this pace. So fun stuff, guys. I also schooled you guys in on Lululemon yesterday. We've had our second daily close above the swing low, which was kind of like my trigger to get long. So I'm about 75% in on this thing right now and looking for a little move there. So that'll be exciting. For those of you guys who don't know, check the previous post. It was in Substack. A lot of fun. So Mike, good to see you. Mike Hagler, Bryce, TR, always a pleasure, gentlemen. And guys, we had a very quick day today. I was actually done by like 10:15 or something, wasn't it, Bryce? It was ridiculous. Like we weren't in the trade very long. We got this monster push with Trump talks of Iran war almost over again. I literally was joking about it in the room. And I think somebody said that they brought up some sort of chart. It was literally like the 18th time that he said the war's almost over. But the headlines love to buy it up. The algos love it. They pushed us up to something nasty, just instant pop. I actually got my fills. I had like 5 fills and they all got filled. My data froze, and before I knew it, I was filled and the market was up. So we're going to go over it. And I actually wanted to go over a few things in the trade plan today because, you know, the trade plan was written when we were underneath support. At the time I wrote it, here was the resistance and here was us. And by the time the market opened, we were actually right in the middle of things. And so again, I wanted to kind of emphasize and clarify how, you have to remember what was once resistance, once you're above or once it's gained, has now become support. And so that's where it becomes important, especially when we have these big moves in the morning that essentially move price, 30, 40 points away from the time of the writing. I need you guys to understand how this works and how things that are formerly resistance become support, and things that are formerly support become resistance when you're below it. I mean, think about it. If we had an amazing level that we kept bouncing off of, once you're below it, what do you think happens? Right? You start hitting your head on it. Okay. Common sense stuff here. Nobody said anything. I just want to, make sure it's very clear for everyone, because we don't often have these moves, these big moves in the pre-market where, I write a trade plan and we're here. And then by the time the bell rings, we're up here. So just wanted to be a little clear on that stuff. So everybody was aware exactly, how to look at this moving forward. Also, another biggie, guys, is I'm doing the second How to Trade a Trade Plan webinar at 6 o'clock. So we're going to make this a fast little webinar or a fast little video, whatever you want to call it, stream. Because as soon as I get off here, I'm going to be on the webinar for an hour. I got 45 minutes of a great presentation. If you haven't been there before, I go over exactly what the trade plan's about, line by line, exactly how you should trade it, how you can take this information and interpret it to your benefit. We have a lot of successful traders trading the trade plan right now. I get constant thank yous and, just so many compliments about how it's improved their game. It's made them calmer, more patient, etc. And for those of you guys who don't realize this, I actually have a 10-day challenge. If you sign up for the trade plan and, you take the 10-day challenge, it's the first 10 days. If you do it and send it to me, I give you a free week. So you don't really just get 4 weeks for your first month. You get 5 weeks. Happy to give that to you guys. But of course, you have to take the time to submit back to me, the proof that you've done it and obviously how it helps you. So please don't forget that. That's something that's been huge for a lot of people. I have a lot of people submitting those, and I'd love to hear how it's really improved their game, gave them a lot more confidence, to have structure. They're not as nervous. They're not looking to basically FOMO, because we give them exact structure where they'd be doing business at, which is exactly what it's about. We do the trade plans for that very reason. If the plan doesn't play, we just don't take a trade. And that's how you make money in this business. So we don't trade reactive. We let price come to us. So let's go ahead and get into it, because I'm going to get off here shortly. Yeah, 6 p.m. Replay. Yeah, TR, as long as you signed up for the webinar. So make sure that you sign up for it, and I will send you a recording when it's over. Okay. Also, I'm going to be giving away 2 prop firm evaluations during this time. So if you sign up, make sure you use your real phone number, because I'm not going to email you. I'm going to text you and let you know that you won. Okay. So make sure you can get text on whatever number you give me, because if you don't, you're not going to get shit, because it happens quite frequently. Actually, I think I've had about 5 people now who have won things, but they never answered their texts. So I don't chase them down. That's their loss. Right. So that's what you got to do. That's part of what you got to do to win. You actually got to give me your phone number. Right. Big shocker. All right. So that's how we're going to start this off. So make sure, guys, as usual, let's just do what we always do about this time. Right. Make sure you follow me across all these socials here. Oh, hang on. I thought this was pulled up. Give me 1 second. There it is. All right. Make sure you follow me across all these socials: X, YouTube, Substack, TradingView. I'm actually going to put a new indicator on TradingView this weekend, maybe next week, early next week. Rob actually created this really cool indicator that has to do with how he's creating a lot of the automated strategies. It's called the Markov theory or Markov chain. If you want to do a little research on it, it's basically about how hedge funds predict, what kind of bias or quote unquote state we're going to be in the following day. So it was really interesting. And it was actually, we talked about it in the webinar yesterday. If we're in a bullish state, there's a 91% chance we're going to be in a bullish state tomorrow, because bullish states are sticky, and so on and so forth. And so I'll elaborate on it a little bit more, but it's been extremely awesome and helpful. And it just kind of gives you the confidence to say, okay, we're bullish today. I think we're going to be, we're going to continue to go. And the same thing, if you're sideways, you can kind of expect some chop, and a bear market is obviously what it is, which doesn't seem like they're even allowed anymore. In my opinion, they do not allow those to happen anymore. So bear markets are off limits. It just seems like anytime you think that, boy, it'd be nice to get a little pullback, forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. Right? Where's the Italian mommy at? We need her to say it. So anyways, with that being said, make sure you follow me across the socials, guys. And then, of course, hit up the trade plan webinar tonight. It's going to be good. I actually put the link in the comments section. You should see that. You can see that in the comments for both YouTube and for Substack. It's in there already. I started when it first came on. I'm late. What's good, my dude? What's up, Trading High? I'm actually late too, brother. I'm about 10 minutes late. We're just getting started. We're going to get into the trade plan right now, and then I'm going to get off here, and then I'll meet you guys for the webinar here shortly. So first things first, I want to talk to you about right in the trade plan title, guys. As you know, pretty much all week, we've been looking for this 07 level to play, right? This was our big, like, quote unquote, like little gap fill level that we were looking to play. We distributed sideways for weeks. And then I'm like, yesterday I really thought we were going to get it. We were all looking to load the boat here. I know Bryce and we were in the chat, and he's like, man, we come down there, I'm going to load up. I'm like, fuck yeah, me too, bro. Like this is what's up, right? So anyways, as you can see, they played it in the middle of the night. Of course, if you weren't up in 1 a.m, you didn't get it, which is, big shocker, big surprise. But, just to kind of show you guys, like, the 707, the levels that we're looking, I mean, they play so good, and it really doesn't matter what time it happens. Obviously, I trade the cash session because that's the time I have available, and there's plenty of opportunity to lose money in the cash session. So that's what I stick with. But man, these levels are just absolutely phenomenal, and they've been doing their job. So I want to show you guys this because this was out of the trade plan title, and it's always a good one, guys. And it would happen yesterday. It happens quite frequently. If it's in the trade plan title, it usually ends up being just an absolutely phenomenal banger. And again, this was the other one right here. We had the 75.42, the 43.75 upside resistance, which played pre-market, and it was phenomenal. And what's up, Zug? There's the heavy hitter. Zug, it is because of you. I'm actually going to show the scoreboard stuff when this is over. Zug actually put up more points than I've ever seen anyone put up today at NQ. So big holla to my boy Zug. He is an absolute beast, and we're going to get into that. He rode this long like a donkey, and like a donkey. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get into it. So as we talked about the 7507 line that we got into here. And then, of course, we had this 7507 downside line and the 75.42 to 74.37 upside resistance. And for me, that was the level I was looking to short this morning. I came into this market, even though that we were up on all time frames, I just had this little feeling that, I was like, I think this is kind of, I just felt like, what's going to happen here? Like, we've been going sideways for a long time. We're going to have this news, if it doesn't break this, 43.75, let's call it 44 level. Like, I don't know what, this thing it's going to come down as long as we move back below this 75.27. But again, we stuck to the process. That was the big deal. And I said it in stream. There was about 30 people in the stream. I kept saying, man, I got this downside lean, but I can't ignore the process. I got to stick with the process. And so we did. And we're going to go over that. We got long, and we actually made it all work. And the 75.27 was the big level, guys. And I just want to, I'm putting this out there so that you understand. When I did the trade plan at the time of the writing, we were much lower. We were probably 15 or 20 points below the 75.27. So obviously I come into this with a slight downside lean because I've talked about for a long time how as long as we're below 75.27, we're going to continue to move down. And you guys have to remember, I write these trade plans before the news hits. And so, I try to get them to you before the news hits. So the market shifts a little bit, and today it shifted quite a bit. But we stuck to the trade plan, and even in the trade plan, I gave my little feeling. I said, I'm starting to see little cracks, but we're still up on all time frames. We have positive gammas, very strong skew to the call side. We remain in positive gamma, and the dealers are hedging to the upside. The gamma flip level is 125 points lower, meaning that the hedging backdrop is pointed higher, right? We are still pointed up on all time frames, including the 4-hour, 1-hour, and daily. And of course, down here, we have this multi-day balance. As you guys know, we've just been kind of drifting sideways above this massive support. It's been a tight range really ever since the holiday, which was Monday, 50 points back and forth, really kind of undecided. And we were sitting there at all-time highs, trying to decide this, but it has not made a decisive directional move. The price is digesting this new range, and today's red tag data could be the catalyst. And it was. And the thing is, guys, we've been waiting for this. And this is the only news that we have all week, by the way. I just want to let you know that today was the day. So we have some levels that I'm going to show you that I'm really looking forward to play tomorrow. Because again, I'm still looking up. Continuation is up. There's no reason to look for the downside. We had some historical data saying, be careful, which, I was today. I wasn't crazy long, even though we made it work. But still, I gotta trust the process, right? And so, again, we're still cruising up. We have no reason to believe that anything else is going to happen. So this morning, my final thoughts were today's core PCE and preliminary GDP should bring volume and hopefully push us out of the multi-day balance. Cha-ching, definitely did that. The market has not lost the higher time frame and the positive gamma remains supportive, but the lower highs and lower lows on the 4-hour told me not to ignore the risk. Like I said, we were actually below 27 when I wrote the plan this morning. For today, the two major pivots are clear. On the upside, I'm watching 42.44, right back by the 39 call wall. Okay, as long as we stay below 27, we remain suppressed. Well, this is kind of what I wanted to get in with you guys. We were below 27 when we wrote. By the time we opened, we were all the way up at 44. Okay, kind of interesting. So that means now what happens? If we're under 27, we're suppressed and we're above it, what do you think happens? Exactly. We're not suppressed anymore, right? We're back above it. Okay. SPX also matters today. The whole price action depends on heavily on what 75.01 does. Okay. Now we've talked about SPX multiple times. And actually I'm going to bring over the chart and so that we can, kind of see what happens here. And actually I'm going to pull this over just so that we can get a good picture here. And again, here was the 75.01, right? This is what we continued to test over and over and over again. And as usual, if you're a subscriber for the SPX brief, which is free, by the way, I send it out to hundreds of people every morning. If you're not a subscriber and you're following me, or you're even trading the ES or SPX, you should absolutely be getting this. I always have it post the value area lows, highs, and points of control. I keep a very close eye on that because, it's value. I'm a value trader, right? So, this was a big confluent area for us, and I'm going to get in more into that here real soon. Okay, so we're still in a multi-day balance. We have red tag data, and anything can happen. Stay aligned with the process. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it now. So here we go with VIX. VIX got absolutely murdered. Couldn't believe it. I mean, when you don't think this thing can go any lower, they just keep pushing it lower, which again, we've talked about, over the past week. As long as we're below 1750s, we're suppressed and we're going to come down. This is the big pivot for me where I'm saying, guys, as long as we're below it, we can keep drifting higher. And they sat in this multi-day balance area above our 75.27 until we basically just dumped everywhere and we pushed below the 1620, right? So this morning, the VIX gapped up sitting around 72, but it's still very much below the 48 and 44. This means that VIX remains suppressed for now. Easy enough, right? This is where we were sitting at right here. I'm like, okay, we gapped up, but we're still well below this. And honestly, they could fill the gap. And, that's the way my logic was thinking. And of course they did that, right? So the bullish relief path is a push below 1620 would be extremely bullish for ES and the indices, as volatility would have failed to support the attempt and given the bulls a stronger tailwind. And I think we saw that today pretty clearly as we pushed up something nasty, unbelievable. And Zug, I keep giving you big props. It's so funny, dude. I got filled and was out before I even knew what happened. So we'll go ahead and get into that right now, actually. So first things first, this is exactly the spot I was talking about. This is our 39, 43.75. This is our big upside short zone. This was my highest level that I put it out in the, right in the trade plan title. It became very important for us. And this actually happened at 9:10 in the morning. So it happened 20 minutes prior to us being open. Okay. So we had the call wall, the 4-hour, the daily, all that. It's my favorite spot to look for potential trade. If we push higher, this zone is confluence with the call wall and the 4-hour there. If this area plays, we want to push back below 34. 34 was our level right here, right? So this was 10 points down into here. We had guys in the room who got super short off of this pre-market. They were basically done by the time, the bell even rang, which was awesome. But this brought us right down into our 75.27 daily, which again, above it, we were bullish, and below it, we were suppressed and potentially bearish, right? And so because they pushed up something crazy in the pre-market, that immediately kind of shifted my, okay, we're below it, now it's resistance, to okay, we're above it, now it's support. So once again, we're sitting at the 75.27. Now, that level was tested, I'll admit it, but the thing is where it really became important is when you pair it with the confluence from SPX, that's where it became super important. Now, let me show you this. Now, once again, at the time of writing, we were very much well underneath 75.01 because that is our 75.27 level, just so you guys know, in comparison with the ES. And so I was talking about we're sitting at a major inflection point. 75.01 daily is held 3 times, right? So above this, we have resistance at the 09 4-hour. right? Look at the 09 4-hour right here, 75.09 4-hour, right? And yesterday's value area low at 75.10, which is clearly directly above that, right? And the point of control at 13. Now, I'm talking about a smack here could send us down because at the time of the writing, we were below it. But now that we're above it, right? If SPX pushes above 13, it can continue through yesterday's value high at 75.25 and look for new all-time highs. Well, when we opened up in the morning, we were right here essentially, and we pulled back. And where did we pull back into? Surprise, surprise, surprise. I told everybody in the stream, hey guys, I know this daily is tested at 75.27. We know it's the big boy, but more importantly, SPX is holding the 4-hour and the value area low. And of course, the point of control at 13. All that area was super duper confluent for us. And we had the 27 daily. We knew above it, we were long, below it, we were short. We're holding all that. And then as you can see, we just sat there for a moment until Trump decided to give us a nice little poke in the ribs there and said, oh, the war is almost over. And then they just launched something nasty. I'll go ahead and show you guys exactly what we're talking about here. So this is the trade that I took. Okay. And this is all my orders, as you can see. And I'm going to show you exactly how I traded this. Okay. So that you guys can take this concept and think about it. And even if you have to rewatch this for another time, that's fine. Again, when I wrote this, keep in mind, we were below this area. Okay. So, we were down here when I was writing this plan this morning. We were down here, literally 8 o'clock in the morning. We were 75.20. Okay. So for me, this is the, let's see, is this the right spot? 27. Yeah, this is the right spot. Okay. So we had this tested major daily above below, right? And then we had the 34 daily right here. You see this gray one? So we had 27 and 34, right? And because 27 for me was tested, I didn't jump out the car and get long when we came and tested it, right? I'm looking at SPX. I'm like, okay, SPX is giving me what I want to see. But again, I'm trading ES and this level is tested. So I was very patient. Okay, so the whole concept here was the 27 daily has been monitored for days. It's provided 2 reactions yesterday, and the most important above below pivots. Below it, it remains suppressed. What do you guys think happens if we're above it? Well, if we're below it, we're suppressed. Above it, we're, say it for me, Bryce, we're bullish. That's right. And so the actionable price setup, if price reclaims 27 and then accepts above 34, bulls begin to take short-term control. Okay, I think that's super duper clear. Right now, look at my trade here, guys. We touched 27, right? We pulled back into it, touched 27. You see 34. What's my average? 35, right? I waited to get long until the 30-minute candle basically closed green above 34. That's when I just started laying into it. And then, of course, I had my first target at 42, where we just had the short. And then again, yesterday's high, and then all the resistances all the way up. And then we basically just got insta-filled. So, and I'll show you what that looks like hereafter. But I think this is a very important concept for people to understand. What's up, Lucy Fur? It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. But this is a very important concept for people to understand because we were below when I wrote this. And then again, we're back above. So I want you guys to really understand how this works, right? When you're below something, it's resistance, and above it's support. And, this changes after you get, a candle close. So like we had this strong 1-hour candle up here, and then boom, we back tested it. And again, just like you guys, I'm following the trade plan, right? I could have gone long 27, but I didn't because I wasn't sure. I waited till we got back above 34. And as you can see, my average was 35.15, right? Because I was waiting for price to accept back above 75.34 for the bulls to take back control. And that acceptance for me was a legit close. And it just so happened it was the 30-minute. As soon as I saw it happen, I told everybody I'm starting to get long because we just had an awesome green close on this 30-minute. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened here. And then we just took off like a shot. I literally got filled on all my fills before we even knew what happened. We obviously went a lot farther than this. We went all the way up, way past this, actually, just to show you guys. We went way higher today. I was done trading. Like, I don't know, Bryce, it wasn't even 10 o'clock in the morning, was it? I mean, you were even making jokes. You're like, well, I don't even know what to do with myself now. I got the day off, right? And this thing just happened to hold. And we continued to go all the way back up, and they just ground super hard. staying above the 1 standard as we continue to peel harder. So I hope that this helped everybody, kind of understand the concept when we get a big move in the overnight session, so you can help understand that, what is once resistance becomes support once you're back over. It is just a very important concept that I want you guys to understand. And it's something that I can easily explain to people in the Discord stream when we're live together. I'm like, okay, guys, now we're going to use it as support. But for those of you who aren't in the Discord room, maybe you should be. Right? Maybe you should be. And if you're interested, shoot me a DM. But if you're not, just understand the concept, right? And so understand the concept that once, if I'm talking about a level is massive resistance, well, once we're above it, we're support. So let's see. TR says, following the trade plan, and it just kept going about 75.69. Would you cover that at 6 p.m.? Well, I'll tell you this. So I was completely flat. Like, as you saw, TR, my targets were all the way up to 62. And so this push took us well past 62 all the way into 72. But my killers in the room, and just to show you guys, that push insta-paid me $3,200 by 10 o'clock in the morning, right? I was done. Bryce was also done, 10:30 in the morning, $2,400 instantly, just absolutely just money shot. But here's my dude. And you want to talk about somebody who can hold? Man, this guy will hold for real, for real. So yes, we continue to follow the plan, eternally, right? So I don't know if there's a real good answer for you there, TR, because for me, it's all about the plan. And, the plan never expires essentially, unless the levels become tested, right? And so what do I do when price action goes well beyond that? You know what, TR? I'm going to make you come to the webinar and ask that question, because I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, other than the fact that, we're in all-time high territory now. We're in price discovery. You got to stop making money with Beachy. People are starting to ask me for favors. It's bad, right? Hey, Bryce, can I borrow a few bucks? Yeah, and you'll never hear from him again. And then, of course, we got She's. She's, of course, puts on massive size on NQ. And look at this guy, 16 Gs, another beast mode. And, the thing is these are the usual suspects, right? I talk about these guys quite frequently. Me, Bryce, Zoog. Bryce has only been with us a year. Zoog's been around a while. He's been around a while. But here is a real testament. Patricia is a beast. She's been with us less than a month. She is starting to be a usual suspect. She's on the board every single day now, which is awesome. She was in snow yesterday. She's just doing her thing. And I'm so proud of her. I love to see it when new people come in. They trust the process and they just kind of do those things. Are those days? Yeah, that's today, TR. That's today. So, this is all today. Every time I post P&Ls is today. We have a channel in here called Scoreboard. This is where everybody puts their money up. So I can just scroll up. These are all yours. Look at Zoog again. Let's just go down. Here we go. Zoog, Sam, 1,400 ticks. She's with 10 grand. Carl with 100. This is a couple days ago. This is me. Look, it's that day I took that $8,000 to the head. It is what it is. But yeah, we all post every single day. If we make some money, we like to ring the bell. Look at Bryce with his 4 Gs, and here you go, Sam again with his 3,000. Here's Z again up on the board. So we're doing our thing every single day. Not cumulative, no, of course not. No, these are daily P&Ls. These are just it's what I made today by 10 o'clock. So you can see the time right here, 10:19. And again, a lot of this has to do with all these people they're all doing the same thing, right? They're following the trade plan, right? A lot of these guys have taken the course. If they haven't, they're in the room and they're in the streams, right? We're there in the morning before the market starts. I go over the market, together. I go over the trade plan and we just stick together. I mean, I show my fills and I show everybody, hey, I'm long here and here's my targets, and we just ride together. And so, by me leading by example, obviously it teaches, the people who are doing their thing exactly, hey, this is good stop management. This is how I take profits and whatever. And so every day we get in there, we ring the bell and we make it happen. So, that's what's up. I did want to talk about 2 things. We got 2 minutes. And so then I'm going to get off here. Zoog, this, I don't know if you jumped on any of these, but let me just go ahead and pull this up. Okay. So guys, I talked briefly about Lululemon. Let me just go ahead and pull that up real fast. So, here's another one, by the way. Zoog, I hope you're still in this. I'm up $1,000 on this today. This is the weed stocks here. I got 1,100 shares. My average is $4 or some shit. I don't know. But long story short, we're starting to walk up with this pretty nice And I think this thing may take off on us here, which would be really, really great. I mean, we've been sitting in this area for a long time. As you guys know, we made a couple 100% on this push up, and then we reloaded the boat. And so I think my average is like 401 or something like that. I can't remember here. Let's look. Oh, Lululemon, Moss. Let's see, Moss, 402. So 1,100 shares at 402. And, so we're cruising up right now. And I really like this spot. This thing's getting ready to go. I kind of just feel it in my bones. It's looking pretty sexy here. So, I want to get all the way up in here to this $9 and $11 mark. This would be my first target. And then, of course, two of my other really main targets up here where I'll shed 75% of my load by the time we get up here and then hold some runners. But what I wanted to talk about besides that one, because you guys know, like, I'm always trying to put some alpha out there for you. Zug, I wanted to just let you know this was the second daily close above the COVID lows down here. So I ended up buying my full 100 shares of this. So we'll see what happens. I did not get filled on the options today. I'll deal with it tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't go too far. But this to me seems like it's pretty solid. If we could get a weekly close above the COVID low, I'll feel so, oh, fuck, I wasn't sharing my screen. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me do this one more time. Damn, I wish you just said something on the stream. Here, let's look at this one more time. I'm so sorry. I wasn't paying attention. So here it is right here. So here is, here's the weed stocks, MSOS. This is the ETF. I'm not good at picking individual stocks. You guys know we rode this up for the couple 100% and we reloaded the boat around $4. We're going back up, like I said, and then I'm looking to take profits around $9.50. And basically like almost $12. And this thing looks like she's about to blow. So I'm liking this so far. It's up $1,000 today for me. I got 1,100 shares on, and I'm just kind of riding this right now. So I think this is going to be good. The one I wanted to show you guys, the two in particular, Zug, was this one here, which is the Lululemon, which we've talked about a few times. I'd love to get this weekly close above this swing low. We only got one more day for it, so that'd be awesome. I went ahead and got my full size position today after we had the second close above the swing low. So, we'll see what happens there, but I did not get in the options like I was saying. So we'll see what's up. I mean, I like the way this looks so far. As long as we hover above this COVID low spot, I don't care. I'll sit in this joint, as long as it takes. I just wanted to stay above that swing low and ultimately this monthly, but preferably that swing low. Especially since I got 1,000 shares on. I don't really feel like drawing down $1,000, but it is what it is. So we'll see what happens. The other one I wanted to show you that I'm really looking at, and I actually bought 25 shares of this today. I know it's not a lot, but it's something, is gold. I like this gold, bro. I actually like it here. This was a big weekly that we bought the first time down. As you guys know, I took this all the way up almost to 450, almost like, I think I sold most of it at the top and then, kind of got out of my trail underneath this daily. And I've been waiting for an entry spot. I've tried a couple different times and it just hasn't stuck. And so now that we're down here again, I kind of like this area because if it doesn't hold 398, we're going to come way, way farther, right? So the way I'm kind of looking at this right now, and this is just my personal thought process, and I don't know if it's actually going to work out like this. Maybe it's a little hopium at the same time. But let me let my pen fire up. Where are we at here? Where are you at, pen? Hang on. I've been having some technical difficulties lately with some of my stuff. All right. So here's the weekly. We came down, we played it, right? And now we've come down and look what we touched now, right? This weekly. So is this the weekly progression, right? Do we come back up to this one now? I don't know, but that's what I hope for. And basically I'm going to stop below 398. So I'm going to give it a little room if we do get a little pullback, but that's my thought process on this, just so that you guys know. I'm okay with stopping out somewhere down here. It is what it is, right? But if this is it, I think this could be a nice little retest and take us back up into 466 or potentially even higher. So just thoughts. I looked at options, Zug. I thought they were a little expensive for my personal taste. They were $600 a piece to take us out towards, January or whatever. And I'm like, well, I think I'd rather just buy the stock. So I did. So that's what I did. I think I don't know how much money worth I bought, but we'll look. We'll look and see. Let's see. I bought. Oh, what the fuck? Fuck you. All right, here we go. So let's see. Gold. Yeah. 20 shares at 411, $8,000 worth. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what's good. Kind of go from there. So with that being said, guys, another fantastic day. We made that money quick. We got in and out. I want to remind everybody who's in the stream, make sure you come to the How to Trade or Trade Plan webinar. I'm going to give away 2 prop firms, guys, 2, right? You might as well be one that wins them. This is the last time you're going to be able to register. I put the links and everywhere. All you got to do is sign up. And then, of course, if you can't attend, I will send you the video. But if you're trading my trade plan, this is a fantastic resource. I'm doing this once a month from now on. And I think it's a great time for you guys to come in and ask questions too. So I'm going to talk for 45 minutes and then you can ask me whatever you want, other than as long as it's not anything personal. So other than that, we're good. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off now and I will see you guys in 15 minutes. So cheers and have a good one. Tomorrow, conquer the markets. And by the way, no post-market breakdown tomorrow, no free Alpha Friday because I'm with Dad. Things will continue as normal next week. So you guys have a great night. Cheers.